Patrick is the DJ tonight, so we know the music is coming. Jen is with us, as always, and the fabulous Dylan, of course, got a new camera. We hope you're liking it. So dear friends, I hope you're opening your bubbles. Rain eyes on. Love it. Renee, thank you for coming. Lauren, love it, love it. Peggy Kearns, Carla Nichols, the fabulous Carla. So many of you are coming in from all over the US. I love it. We're going to finish May. We're opening up. The world is finally changing again. Wow. I know that's Patrick's DJ, so he's going to be hosting his wedding very soon. I like that. We are in the 80s. So we have an amazing guest, dear friends, tonight. Incredible guest. And even more than a guest, he's a great friend. He's like family. He's like a little brother. He's charming. He's seductive. Ladies, he's very sexy. And unlike I do, he has a lot of hair on his chest. So I know many of you love that. And guess what? And Jen, it's not a date. He's available. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Just sometimes. But you will know he's very selective. And he loves great times. And who wouldn't? Yes, Bridget is available. Scott too, so you... Peggy, Monique, I love that. Antonio, Kathleen. God, you see when there's a call for action, everybody comes. So dear friends, we're having tonight a very, very special guest. And as the music still builds up, but will eventually come down, Patrick was trained at Studio 54. We know where he gets it. We have Pamela in the house as well, the fabulous Pamela. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know the guest we have tonight is one of the leading men in the world of champagne. Is the man with whom we produce all our champagne. One, I said it, he's charming, seductive, and amazing. He comes from the greatest champagne family legacy, and with his parents, uncle, brothers, sisters, and all of the above are producing some of the best bubbles ever produced. And I need to tell you, we are together tonight at the JCB Lounge in Yountville because he lives part of his life in the United States, and he's going to tell us why. And I would like to bring tonight the famous, the charming, the irresistible Jean-Remy Rapeneau.
Bonsoir!
Here he is!
Thank you, Jean-Charles!
Bubbles are flowing. So Jean-Remy, welcome.
Thank you for flying me back from Champagne last night.
He just arrived to be with us. Ladies, gentlemen, isn't he charming? Was I under-presenting? I know he is much better than you thought.
We're under pressure, like the bubbles.
So how many years have we been friends?
When we love, we don't count, Jean-Charles, as you know.
You know, for 20 years plus, we've known each other intimately. And Jean-Remy, tell everyone, why do you love the U.S. so much before we sit down and have a great discussion?
I think it's the size. So size matters, as you know.
Size matters.
We are starting here.
We're starting well. I'm sweating already. Getting excited with all those feathers.
Well, the US is ultimately the second largest market for the champagne industry, and with my family, we have been for many generations very strong in Europe and France. And the idea was to extend the business in the US, and we'll come back later, but I think it's under-consumed on champagne, so we're going to try
We totally agree. Well, we're going to change that tonight. So, well, you know, dear friends, this beautiful bottle is made by Jean-Remy only and exclusively. It's from the 17th century. It's gorgeous and it's sexy. So we're trying Buena Vista La Victoire. So maybe, Jean-Remy, we got to sit down, but maybe just before we do, tell our friends what we're drinking. Because you make this, we make this together, but you make it very, very, very good.
We are drinking the stars, as we say back in the history of champagne, back from Auvillers. So, indeed, look at the shape of the bottle first. I mean, this is the original shape of the champagne bottle back in the first bottle of champagne. So the champagne was called the apple shape.
Do you see the body language and the movement? How important it is? We're talking about the body of the bottle. That's a great start of the
So
evening.
we call it the little magnum, if you wish. There is more space on the bottom, so it's better for the wine to involve.
Very important because fermentation happens in the bottle.
Correct. So this is the méthode champenoise back from the 17th centuries, as you said, and the second fermentation is in the bottle. So, and you know, when you look back on the history on champagne, people are afraid of the bottle itself. We call it the devil bottle because it was exploding. We try to measure, you know, how much from the fermentation the bottle can resist.
Yeah.
Same with the cork.
Point.
So now we have fun with it, but back in the past that was dangerous.
So when did that exactly happen?
There is some dates in the 17th centuries, like the first méthode champenoise in Champagne came from, and I think it was a little bit before in Burgundy too.
Thank you for recognizing
Just
your little
because of
cousin.
you.
You know, one of the things which is so exciting, dear friends, we share between Burgundy and Champagne and Burgundy is the same grape variety, right? This is what we have
Well,
here.
they put a limit on the map, but technically...
We brothers and sisters. Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and you have a little...
Pinot Meunier.
So what does Pinot Meunier add to a blend?
So the Pinot Meunier gives the vivacity of the Champagne. The Pinot Noir gives the body of the wine. The Chardonnay gives the finesse.
You're getting me excited.
And
the body, the finesse.
And the Pinot Meunier, the vivacity.
That's right.
So it's all about the blend in Champagne. We are very famous to blend, you know, the Chardonnay, the grapes, the Pinot Noir, and the Pinot Meunier to make at the highest level of combination of the structure of the body of the wine. We'll always talk about body. Huh?
Well, it's very important. This is what you have in the middle of your mouth, which we call the French kiss. Ooh la la, let's taste together. I know some of you are drinking. I know Lauren has a bottle open, Kristen too, Raina, Jen Lombard, of course, is drinking, and Melissa Lynch and Laurie, they are. By the way, to all the ambassadors, don't you love them?
Yeah, we are all excited to have you back in Champagne. You came last year. It was phenomenal. We are always happy to show us our region, the history behind it, and to drink more champagne as yourself or with your friends too. I mean, the idea is all about celebration just every single day. You don't drink champagne once a day, you drink champagne twice a day.
So, Jean-Remy, I want to ask you a question, which is very important. He was raised in a small village in Champagne. I was raised in a small village in Burgundy. Maybe it's a good time to sit, if you guys don't mind.
There's not much music, we are going to sit.
How was it to be raised in Champagne?
Alors, as you said, you know, you were from a small village, so it's like a small community. Everybody know each other, so everybody is friends. I was living with my parents ultimately, and it was a live party, you know, because ultimately, you know, when you bring friends, family, customer to your house, this is all you do on the entire rest of your life, you know. But I was fascinating about the history back of the Champagne region. You know, we live in a town in Reims, which is the capital of the region, where we have most of the King of France crown. So which is, when you think about it, from 1800 to the last one. So there is 30 kings of France have been crowned from the 35th, you know. So it's
pretty amazing, right? The cathedral is magic. We toured it together.
So this is why we call it the beverage of the king. Champagne. But the problem we have today, I mean, they used to be royal, now we are more loyal because the royal, they are not loyal, as you know.
That's it. So how is it to be raised in Burgundy? You know where I was raised, small village, 160 people, Vougeot, everybody knows each other, no alarm, the doors are open, friends are together, it's a great life. And you learn about vineyards, you learn about winemaking, you together, and it's a great community. Was it the same for you?
Same in Champagne because, as you said, there is no alarm. The only alarm is on the cellars when it's become too late, as you know.
That's it, because people go to the caves. They dive in and they steal.
We live more downstairs than upstairs, you know, that's the reality. But in Champagne, we are defending the name itself. You know, we are all from the same region, and ultimately we are all producer on the bigger and smaller size, but we are defending the name Champagne, and it is why I think we are here today in Napa, and the name is famous around the world, is because the community get together to drive the name, you know, on the same boat, rather than, you know, cheesing each other, I am the best, you are the best. Let's keep the name Champagne on the top of it, and then the rest is history.
So Jean-Remy worked the vineyard, you worked the cellar. What is your passion in the world of Champagne?
So the world of Champagne, I'm fascinated by the name itself because it's known around the world, you know, and when you go back home, as you said, it's a small village and everybody is fascinating about the name, you know, where when you get there, you know, it's very little. And of course, you have to understand the whole process to make it at the best. So you have to start on the vineyard, you have to go on the cellars. And it's magic because, you know, this wine we're having today, you know, it's 2015 base wine, you know, so it's a full process, it's an evolution, you have to be patient to make it at the best. So it's, even, you know, the process, you know, you have to be patient, and it's always an experience from one harvest to another, you know, it's never the same.
And we often say it's harder to make bubbles than still wine, because the wine has to be good still. And when you add the bubbles, it amplifies the taste.
That's right? True, but first of it, Champagne was a mistake when you think about it.
How come? Tell everyone.
So you can only do mistake once, you know.
That's very true.
I'm sure not convinced about that, but...
and it was a monk who made a mistake, so you know.
Exactly.
God bless his soul. But he did a good one. His name was, we believe, Dom Pérignon, but
we
maybe
believe,
not.
but this is what they say. We'll find out. But,
You know, which I love with history, is the history you want people to remember is the story you tell. Then what is the truth of history?
yeah, were you there in 1700? So there was a mistake because the wine in Champagne was still, as you said, there was the monk making wine, for their living, everyday living, and by the second fermentation in the bottle, they heard on the cellar bottle explode,
Yeah.
And I said, what's going on? And back in the past, the production, there is more than 50% of the bottle destroyed because of the fermentation. Imagine.
They just exploded.
Exactly. So the idea was, as I said in the beginning, to try the balance, for the size. And the pressure in the bottle of champagne is enormous. I mean, it's a little bomb itself. I mean, if you drop it, be careful. Just hold it or drink it, but don't throw it away as the fullest,
So when, which was amazing, by the way, all of you need to know that Jean Rémy made happen the authorization of Buena Vista to be able to make champagne, which is a big deal when we think about it. This is American winery, right, making champagne in Champagne. Pretty unheard of.
Alors, as you said, champagne has to come from Champagne. And, it's people use it like a generic, sparkling wine, but champagne has to come from Champagne.
Yes.
And, it's all about people, of course, making wine, but there is the place, the terroir, the climate, as you know. And most of the Champenois came in the States to do a sparkling wine back in Napa and Sonoma. But with Jean-Charles and his family and the heritage we have, we wanted to do the reverse, to bring the champagne in America with an American name, but still be a champagne.
Yes.
So this is unique in the region, I have to say, thanks to you.
This is the first time ever. So, dear friends, when we open now the Rosé La Victoire, the victory is to be celebrated with Jean-Remy. And I know all of us will be celebrating soon D-Day, which is June 6th, the American coming to France in 44, which freed, of course, the Champagne region and Burgundy. We could say thank you now to Jean-Remy for freeing the Champagne region for an American winery to have it.
Alors, it's a combination of both Buena Vista, your winery, La Victoire, which is my family created this name back in the past with my uncle and my father in 1989, for the first time. We were, at the family dinner table and we were looking for a name which is exceptional for a champagne. And Victoire and La Victoire didn't exist, and I think this is the perfect match name for a champagne label because it's all about celebration, success, victory, as you know, and it's all about champagne. It's the combination was perfect. So to have it on the same label, with an American winery with a champagne from France, this is exceptional, and we are very fortunate to develop this product.
So
together.
the American flag from the nest we in is born as well in Champagne. So, Jean-Remy, I'm a little disappointed that your drinking habits are a little lower. You don't wear a mask, so you should finish your glass. Let's try another wine. And Jean-Remy, before you tell us about the next one, I'd like you to describe your overall passion for fashion. Jean-Remy, as you can see,
bonsoir.
look at this.
Merci.
Look at this, dear friend, that
God.
color. Jean-Remy is always so well dressed.
We look better naked,
Sexily
by the way.
charming. Well, yes, maybe later. This is at midnight. This is just the first session, and we're going to have further sessions. So, Jean-Remy, tell us about your passion for velvet, because you always
Velvet.
have that great sense of touch.
Velvet means fertility, and we're in the wine industry, and of course we grow grapes, so we make wine. So the ground has to be fertile. Or maybe it's the extension of my hair too,
Oh, I like that.
So when you
Can I touch just a little? Ooh.
So exactly. So when you start to touch that, as a first sight, maybe later on it could be a déjà vu somewhere,
Du déjà vu. Tell me about that great scarf too. Very style. Little leopard prints and everything, and the cuffling, and you wearing, thank you, our fabulous jewelry. We fanatic about French cuff. right?
Exactly.
You always have been.
But this is from yours, the Gina kiss.
Ah, that's right.
So kiss to
And she's
Gina.
watching you right now, and she's sending you a big kiss.
Big
as we
kiss,
could say.
Gina.
As well as Kirsten Cook, she really wants to meet you, as well as Monique. Laura will make that happen very soon. So I want everyone to take something away before we go into the personal life of the famous Jean-Remy. Tell everyone about something which is always a mystique in Champagne, a big skill that you have in winemaking is the dosage.
Exactly.
And the dosage, dear friend, is your last step to the ultimate moment.
So exactly at the last step, after, we age the wine for 5, 6, 7 years, depending on the vintage. Just after the disgorgement, we add the dosage, which is a liqueur, which is very specific and only the winemaker knows, So this is the touch of the house, but nobody knows except one. And so the idea is to bring the level of sugar in the wine. And the idea is to balance with the acidity from the harvest. And the idea is back in the past there was more sweetie. And we came back, in those days just to lower a little bit the dosage. But the idea is to find the perfect balance between the acidity and the maturity.
Yes.
So when it's too acidic, it's not easy to drink more. And the idea on champagne is to drink at least 2 bottles or Magnum by yourself. So the idea is to find a great balance with it. So we decided on this one to put 8 grams because you need a little bit of sugar, not to overbalance the palate of the acidity on the Chardonnay. So we try to lower a little bit, not as much because, as you know, champagne is very acidic. So the idea is to find the perfect balance to drink as much as we can.
So if you were on a date, what would you have as food with this? Because Jean-Remy has a private kitchen like you cannot imagine. His house is a chateau in the middle of Champagne, of course, with amazing antique furniture. So imagine, I'm going to ask you 2 things. One, you would cook for me. What would you cook? And I would be, as I know you love women, you would try to seduce me. How would you seduce me with that glass of wine?
With a glass of wine, maybe I put some on your...
Oh, really?
Maybe behind your hair,
Oh!
Just to smell it.
That's it?
Just to start, this is the best perfume.
Okay, so I smell it. What else is next?
So then you're a bit, down,
Okay. So now I go. Oh, so now you would go to my neck.
Exactly, and then as long as the night is going later, it's you
So
just
would
spray
be-
yourself.
So you would be very progressive.
Exactly, it depends on the date.
Well, let's say you're on a date with, as you've been on many, and I've had the pleasure to witness a few, and you only drink bubbles. How do you do and prepare the sequence?
Because as we say in Champagne, champagne doesn't count.
Yeah.
I mean, a bottle of champagne, it's for us is, with the acidity, the freshness, it's just a pleasure. I mean, it's better than water for sure, And
Water?
Yeah.
Water?
Yeah.
Water?
Yeah.
Did we hear well, water? I've actually, the last time I saw Jean-Remy drinking water, he was brushing his teeth at 7 a.m.
Not even.
Just after freshening up for the next moment of the breakfast.
I think the champagne is the most easiest drink you can have. It lasts very long because the acidity is great to start with, and it's to finish the night as well because it's very refreshing. You don't get tired because there is no tannin. It's all about the acidity bring you with the food and just by itself as well. Yeah?
So you have an amazing kitchen. He's a great chef, by the way. What do you like to pair champagne with when you do just a champagne dinner? Because a lot of our guests and friends are asking, can we do a champagne dinner? And if yes, what should it be?
Alors, that's a great advantage about the champagne is you can pair champagne with anything. And I'm going to say that because people are afraid to drink champagne because, it's kind of sophisticated if you wish, which is a little, but when you think about it, you can have a glass of champagne as an aperitif, you can have a starter, like fresh tuna and everything, and then you can have a fish or a chicken, everything match with the champagne. That's the beauty of it. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. So even if you're a bad chef,
Yeah, but you're a good chef. So what would you have? Scallops, of
Scallops,
course.
of course, tuna, la tartare tuna avocado. It's very good with it. And all night long, and like a little dessert like strawberry tart or framboise.
So how would you use the strawberry if you were to seduce a woman?
You put in the glass.
Oh, but of course.
Or the reverse. You put the champagne in the tart.
Okay, I
It's
was
going
thinking.
it's going to be mousse a little bit.
What about a bathtub? Have you ever seduced a lady in a bathtub with champagne?
How many bottles we can put in a bathtub? It depends on the size, of course.
Well, you know, so I mastered it with Gina, as you know.
I know.
My favorite recipe is 2 cases. Right, Gina? You got to acknowledge, my love. 2 cases of bubbles, which is, of course, 18 liters of wine and 18 liters of water. Dear friends, that's the recipe. You know it. 3 bottles equivalent of hot. And you never leave the house.
Exactly.
So you still haven't answered the question. What would be the main course? The pièce de la résistance.
Pièce de la résistance. It could be chicken with truffle, which is always very good. The white meat, ultimately.
Yeah.
For the red meat, it would be like a all vintage, to balance, the flavors. But the beauty with the champagne from a non-vintage for a vintage for rosé, I mean, even a rosé with the right meat, is perfect. And even with cheese too. I mean, the whole vintage with cheese, it's perfect. You bring like a whole vintage back from your cellars, and it's very yeasty. And
You see, that's something I think we not daring enough in life is just to have a dinner with bubbles. It's very ethereal, very cosmic, and it brings another dimension of appreciating the dish.
exactly. And the champagne with the acidity, I have to say, I think we need to write a book about it. Is the champagne diet. I think this is
Tell us more about it.
This is the lowest calorie drink ever.
I'm on a diet after COVID.
Exactly.
After COVID-69, I'm having a hard time.
So it's less than 100 calories a glass, if you think about it. And with the acidity, it's good for the digestion and everything. So if you drink a bottle of champagne, technically it doesn't count. I mean, I'm telling you.
Wow.
So we need to remember that, because we always say alcohol makes you,
So if everybody is up for that, I think Jean-Remy and I should write the champagne diet. We both will be on it, so we could lose a few pounds.
We just
technically.
tried. We are still in a good shape, but we have done that the last 30 years, and look at us, it's not bad.
So on that note, I think people, as I look at all of you so kindly chiming in, are very intrigued about champagne. So, Jean-Remy, if there was one thing you want to communicate on how you make champagne that people don't know and are very intrigued in, what would you say? Because I'm going to open the next, we have a few minutes left, and I'm going to open Gala, because we have now a few more minutes of technical, personal question for Jean-Remy, because, we've remained very, very nice so far. But I'm going to go dive into his personality. So give us a little bit of what should people know about champagne, not necessarily as a region, but more the making, the enjoyment of it.
Well, if you think about it, Champagne, it's a big name, but it's a small region. It's 1/4 of Bordeaux, if you think about it. So it's very microclimate, micro-cru. So we pick the Chardonnay from one place, the Pinot Noir from the other one, and we try every year. And every place is different in taste of the profile. So as a winemaker, the most difficult to find is to find the perfect sourcing from that place every single year. And in Champagne, most of the champagne that we drink is non-vintage.
Yeah.
So non-vintage means that we're trying to replicate a style from one year to another. And the idea as a consumer, and as your family, the idea we are trying to, if you buy a bottle of champagne this year, it's going to taste the same the next year. And every year we try to replicate the same style to have the consistency of the quality of the house. So we are looking for the house style.
Yeah.
That you get the same taste, senses every single year.
So so Jean-Remy Rapeneau, G.H. Martel, La Victoire, unbelievable family, incredible place to visit, and you're going to have to tell our friends about your places, because I've been to every of his chateaux, which is a lot, and it's insane. So It's only, by the way, an hour and a half from Paris.
Exactly. So if you come to visit that sooner, or maybe everything reopen, exactly, Champagne, we are the closest region from Paris, if you think about it. You can take even the train, the TGV.
Yeah.
So it's 35 minutes downtown Paris to downtown Reims. You don't even have to drive. So you can go for lunch, have a magnum of champagne, and come back even for the night in Paris. And this is the city of the king, as I told you, and we have the cellar, which is magnificent. We have been classified by the UNESCO in 2015. So there is only 4 cellars in Reims classified by the UNESCO. So we don't have the tattoo yet, but it's coming.
It's a big deal.
It's
The
a big
UNESCO approved it as the preserved. Burgundy is part of it, and Champagne.
Exactly. And if you go to see Jean-Charles back in Burgundy, you can stop in the middle. We have the only chateau in Champagne. It's called Chateau de Bligny. It's an historical place. It's back from the 18th centuries with all the vineyards around. We are the limit of Burgundy, so it's much more Quimérindian, mineral terroir. And the Chardonnay is beautiful. It's called our hunting lodge too. So it's all about the fascinating about the history, the passion, the wine, and the.
And you know, all of you listening, we know each other well. You have now a VIP opportunity to tour Jean-Remy Chateau, which is fabulous. And when you think about Beaune, you said it 2 hours away. So it's very quick. When Jean-Remy drives, it's around an hour. So Jean-Remy, I'm going to serve you a wine that we made together with love, passion, which would lead to the next question about your passion. But I want to ask you a question I've never asked, dear friends, and you may think it's slanted. We know each other so well. Is it true that champagne is an aphrodisiac?
Woohoo!
Is it true?
Is it true?
I mean, do you believe? Does it help you as an example?
I think it's
because I've heard very good reviews
Have you
about
tried?
your abilities. Well, I've tried champagne for sure. I think we need to ask my lovely wife if she approves with the ability of her.
So I have to confess for everybody, it increases your libido for sure. I mean,
really?
yeah.
So it increases your libido, but does it include the fact that it really enhances your sexual drive?
I think it does.
I think it does too.
It's depends of the amount. More you drink champagne, more you get excited, you know. So that's the beauty about it.
So talking about excitement, so dear friends, do you recommend actually champagne breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Absolutely. A meal without wine, we call it breakfast, but even in Champagne, we drink champagne for breakfast because it's pretty light with the acidity. It's open always your appetite. And as we say, champagne doesn't count. So, you know, it's part of the culture of the France and the champagne itself.
So important. So, Jean-Remy, passion, gala. Before we start on the wine, what makes you so passionate? What drives you so much in life? And we have many friends, you know, from Jill to Melissa to Laurie to Donna, who are just, you know, Derek even. What is driving Jean-Remy to be so charming and so passionate in life?
Well, the idea again, it's you know, it's a gift. You know, we are from Champagne, from a family, and you know, it's all about to work for the legacy. You know, from the history, what we have behind us, and it's and the idea is to go and move forward from what we did from the past.
Mm-hmm.
And still, as a family, it's a uniqueness that we have the chance to be still a family, which is, you know, most of the people are corporations. So
specifically, dear friends, in Champagne, I want you to remember Jean-Remy is the leading owner and producer of family-owned fine champagne house. I'm going to drink to that. So, but what fuels that passion inside of you, besides family? What drives you to be? A lot of people today are looking for inspiration, aspiration. They see you as this very charming, successful, and fabulous winemaker of great champagne. What advice would you give? And about you, your passion?
the idea is the champagne. You know, I'm very excited to see people, you know, sharing, you know, glasses of wine together, bring them together. It's all about beauty, life, spending more time. And I think if you drink a glass of champagne, you think the time stops a little, you know, and you have more time with the others. So the idea, we try to make as much people are happy, and as much as people are happy, we are more happy than you are, you know. So it's a sharing, you know, emotion, feelings, you know, it's all about, you know, the lifestyle, joie de vivre.
Yeah.
Voilà.
Well, that's a big statement, joie de vivre. I think it's what it's all about. And do you feel actually Jean-Remy has a beautiful place in Northern California? So anybody who wants to meet Jean-Remy has to go through me. I'm the agent, just to let you know. Little reminder, I know there's a lot of requests, and he's right up here in Northern Cal. What do you think COVID has done as a positive side to this whole process?
So the positive side, as we said, spending more time together, like to think about, you know, of course we are all busy, you know, traveling around the world as you do. And, you know, and people are drinking more because, you know, I have a journalist one day tell me how we can sell more wine or champagne. It's just to sit together.
Yeah.
Take the time to sit together with your family, your friends, and to think what is the most important in your life. And that we always forgot, you know, it's like tomorrow, you have to live the instant before thinking about tomorrow. And we always forgot about that, to live the instant. And I think that's the beauty of it. Maybe we can go back on what we do, but again, still I think it's...
And do you think people have realized that living the moment is essential?
I think it is. I mean, I'm born with the instant moment, you know, trying to live, you know.
And dear friends, I've met the parents of Jean-Remy, his uncle, his cousin, and I really believe, as a big takeaway of tonight, is to learn from all of us in the old world sometimes about just enjoying time and just want to spend time. You know, a lot of you are cherry picking from the tree and spending time with families. A lot of you are in the garden. A lot of you are at the beach. A lot of you are spending time together, and that's the cool part of it.
And you learn from the people you are spending time, because you less learn by yourself ultimately. Imagine like a family, you are back, you know, for Christmas. So let's say it's Christmas every day, you know, because you are sitting together on the same table. We have my great-grandfather, you know, was born in 1900, and we have the fourth generation sitting on the same table. So ultimately, you learn from the past, you live the present to go beyond in the future. And this is what we wrote on the bottle: past, present, and future.
Past, present, and future. And what are we drinking? Tell everyone.
Exactly.
Because Jean-Remy, dear friend, invented with another of his friends in Champagne this unbelievable process of how to decorate this bottle. Very similar to your Aston Martin car. Very similar to a Rolls Royce. It's a paint that can never go away. So tell us about the wine and then I have one more question for Jean-Remy.
So Gala, it's a name that we registered together. So it's very unique in Champagne because it's difficult to create a new name, if you wish, because by the history of the Champagne region, all the houses have the name on the top of it, you know. Where here, we want to be as well a little bit more creative and, you know, maybe naughty, but naughty educated, you know. So we wanted to have the combination of the Champagne style and to have a great name. And I think Gala is great, as you created yourself. It's celebration with style, you know. And I like the idea of that. So the idea, the package is, it's a painted bottle. So this one is rose gold for the rosé. We have the silver platinum. We have the gold as well. Coming magnum, of course, for people who want to drink more.
As you could see, we won the big size. This is just the beginning of the night.
Chardonnay Pinot Noir. So it's for the rosé, it's 6 years. It's 6 years on the list for the rosé. For the vintage, it's 2010. So it's having over 9 years on the list. So we keep the champagne on the cellar for you. Then it's ready to drink. We paint it for you. We ship it to the US, and you can enjoy as much as you want. So it's the only champagne that we have been created the last 10 years, you know, in the Champagne region, I guess.
Can you imagine? Little creation, but the best. So I want to ask another and one of the last questions. What is your ultimate dream, Jean-Remy? Tell me about one of your wildest dreams first as a question. And then I have one last one as the closing one. What is the secret he would want to share with us? Because now we are all very intimate. But your dream, something you think you yet want to achieve. And I think for all of us listening and being together, it's so exciting to hear about people's dream because it inspires us.
That's a good question, Jean-Charles. The dream, I always told my father, we are selling the dream. Champagne, it's a dream. And sometimes he said, don't dream too much, And this is all we do. We try to travel around the world to promote what we do. And the idea, this is the last 2 years in the Champagne region where we have been selling more champagne outside of France than ever for the whole Champagne region.
Congratulations.
So the idea is to promote as much as we can the savoir-faire, the joie de vivre around the planet, that people are very excited to drink champagne like as an everyday living.
So now you have a great lady watching you, another one who is sitting you ready to be seduced. What is the secret you've never shared about you that I don't even know you're willing to share? Because, we're going deep tonight into the introspection of each other and oneself.
So it has to be a romantic desire, or it has to be...
It could be anything you want. Bridget is wanting to know all the details, as well as Julie. Oh. And you know them well. And Jen, of course, she's watching. What could be something that you want to share that is so special?
Well, my dream, less on the desire, intimate, but we have a great history in France, in Champagne, and what we do is it's magical, and we try to replicate that around the world. But the idea, we learn so much as well from the US, and because the positive and this is maybe my dream one day is like you to maybe have something here in California, maybe to do a Pinot, not sparkling because I'm a Champenoise, it's difficult to be on the same level. I'm going to be judged, So maybe if you do mistake once, remember, it has to be only once, not twice. So the idea is maybe to replicate what we do from Champagne maybe here, because I think the US it's endless. I mean, you can do whatever you can do if you do properly with the right people, the right time. And I think it could be my dream because I love this place and we never know.
I love it. So, Jean-Remy, as I do, share the unbelievable love and the incredible attraction to America. And this would be so fun to welcome him making wine here. So, wasn't it exciting to meet Jean-Remy tonight? So every one of you, anytime you go to Champagne, you should come and see Jean-Remy and we'll facilitate all that. And Jean-Remy, just 3 words on the gala before we sadly say goodnight to all our friends who are drinking champagne and loving about the old world. So 3 words.
I think divine, because I love this word too. Vibrant, because champagne is, and I think it's unique because it's a creation. So voila.
Voila! Dear friends, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And as we say in France with Jean-Charles, we are family.
We are family. We are family. I know our DJ is on his way. He just took a break, We are family.
I got the sister with me.
Thank you, Jean-Remy.
Thank you, Jean-Charles. Thank you, Nata.
And Derek, thank you. We are family.